Welcome to the GCSE Maths Advantage. I'm Dr. James Carter, and every episode I'm going to break down one topic, show you where the marks are, and give you a quick win you can use in your next exam. Whether you're targeting a grade 7 or pushing for a 9, let's get into it.
Look, picture this. A student sits the paper, does the algebra perfectly in their head, circles the right answer, and gets 0 for it. Sounds unfair, right? But it happens all the time with show that and find questions because the examiner never saw the steps they needed. Stick with me for the next 10 minutes and you'll have one repeatable routine that fixes that for good.
I think I know that feeling. You know the answer, but you haven't written it down the way the exam wants.
Exactly. Let that sink in. Knowing the math isn't the same as showing the math on paper. In this episode, we'll do 3 things. First, how to read show that versus find. Second, a worked example you can practice. Third, the exact examiner-friendly technique that picks up method marks. Ready?
The concept. First, what's the difference? A show that question gives you a final form and asks you to demonstrate it mathematically. It wants a chain of algebraic steps leading from the given expression to the stated result. A find question asks for a value, a solution, or a simplified form, sometimes numerical, sometimes exact.
Key rule number 1. Start from what you're given. For show that, begin with the left-hand side and transform it. Don't start by assuming the right-hand side is true and working backwards, unless you explicitly say, working backwards to check is fine, and then show the forward steps too. The examiner needs to see the forward logic.
So for show that, I should literally write the chain of equalities, like step 1, step 2, and so on.
Yes, short, clear lines. Each line should be a justified algebraic step. Expand, factor, complete the square, whatever the manipulation is. If you use a substitution, state it. If you cancel a factor, state the domain restriction if necessary. Little notes are worth marks because they show understanding. Examiners love this one.
Key rule number 2. Exact form matters. If the question gives a target expression with a surd or an exact fraction, mirror that. Don't give a decimal unless the question asks you to round. If it's show that x plus 3 squared plus 1, give that exact expression, not approximately 10.5.
Key rule number 3. Plan before you write. Take 5 seconds to underline the required final form, write start, ... and target ... at the top of your working. That little setup line costs nothing and guides your algebra so you avoid silly direction changes mid-solution.
Worked example. Here's a common higher GCSE pair. Show that x squared plus 6x plus 10 equals x plus 3 squared plus 1. Hence, find the minimum value of x squared plus 6x plus 10. Let's work through it step by step, exactly as you'd write it in the exam.
Okay, I can hear a teacher in my head saying, complete the square.
Right, so line 1. Write the expression you're given. I'll speak it as I'd write it. Start x squared plus 6x plus 10. Next line, take the quadratic terms and form a square. X squared plus 6x equals x plus 3 squared minus 9. Why that minus 9? Because x plus 3 squared expands to x squared plus 6x plus 9, so to keep equality we subtract 9. Write that down explicitly. X squared plus 6x plus 10 equals x plus 3 squared minus 9 plus 10. Then simplify the constants. Minus 9 plus 10 is 1, so we get x plus 3 squared plus 1, and that's the exact target. Finish the show that with a short note, hence shown. Simple, clean, step by step.
That makes sense. Short steps, and you explain why you added or subtracted. I can see how examiners like that.
Now, the hence find part. Because we've written the completed square, the minimum value is immediate. X plus 3 squared is always at least 0, so the whole expression is at least 0 plus 1 equals 1. So you write minimum value equals 1, when x plus 3 equals 0, hence x equals minus 3.
Box the value if asked, and give the x value if the question asks for it.
Let's map that to the mark scheme so you know where marks come from. The show that is typically worth 2 or 3 marks. M1 for a correct method, here that's forming the square correctly, which could be shown by writing x plus 3 squared minus 9. The A1 is for the correct final form, x plus 3 squared plus 1. If you leave out the simplifying minus 9 plus 10 equals 1 step, you risk losing the final accuracy mark.
For the find the minimum part, you'll commonly see M1 for using the completed square argument, identifying that the square is greater than or equal to 0, and A1 for the numerical answer 1. If the question also asks for the x value, that's an extra A1 for giving x equals minus 3.
What if I can't finish the algebra? Say I mess up the constant. Can I still get a mark?
Yes, that's the point. Marks are awarded for method, not only the final answer. If you show the correct setup, for example, you write x plus 3 all squared minus 9 somewhere, you usually get the M1, even if your arithmetic slips later. Write down the method clearly. Don't hide it in erased pencil lines. The examiner wants to see your method. Write it down, don't just think it.
Common avoidable mistakes: dropping the plus 1 when simplifying, mixing up signs when expanding, and using decimals instead of exact values. Also, don't copy the final form incorrectly. A misplaced sign will cost the A mark even if the method was right. Read the question twice, solve it once.
The exam technique, step by step for marks. 1. Underline the exact phrase show that or find and copy the target expression verbatim. 2. Start from the left-hand side. Write one bridging line showing the key algebraic idea. For our example, that's x squared plus 6x equals x plus 3 squared minus 9. 3. Simplify constants and box the target. 4. For find, add a short explanatory phrase. Since x plus 3 squared is greater than or equal to 0, minimum is 1 at x equals minus 3. That little explanatory phrase often secures the A mark because it shows understanding, not guesswork.
I like the bridging line idea. It's like giving the examiner a signpost.
Exactly. Signposting is a grade 9 move. Now, the quick win, a 30-second checklist you can use on every show that or find question. Say it with me. 1. Underline the target. 2. State start and target at the top. 3. Do one clear bridging line that shows the crucial manipulation. 4. Simplify, box the final result. 5. Substitute back or give a brief explanation for find questions.
Do that checklist every time. It takes less than 30 seconds and catches most slips. Don't skip the check. Always substitute or explain why the expression implies the numeric result. That's your fastest win in an exam.
Can I use the same method for other quadratics, like ax squared plus bx plus c?
Yes, complete the square works for any quadratic. You might need to factor out a from the x squared and x terms first. Same routine. Underline, plan, one bridging line, simplify. Same method, different numbers. That's your quick win for today. If this helped, share it with a friend who's revising. You'll find more worked solutions and revision resources at jcacademyonline.co.uk. Until next time, trust the process and nail that exam. Stay curious.